Mookie Magic. Dodgers have won it all. High fly ball into right field. She is gone. He struck him out. 2 balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. It's his way back. Walk him off. Chris Taylor.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. I'm Scott Geirman of DodgerBlue.com. I'm one of the writers there. I'm filling in. We've had a few different hosts the last week. I'm joined by Matt Moreno and Blake Williams. How you doing, guys?
Doing pretty good.
Not too bad. I'm glad to be shuffling things around and let you take the hosting reins from Jeff this time.
Yeah, give it a little bit of a different spin. So this is a little bit of a lighter topic, but definitely one that should be important with the recent acquisition of JT Martinez in the past role, Mookie Betts, Boston connection. We're all bringing it all together. Might need to embrace it at a certain point, but there's definitely a conversation to be had about JT Watkins. The Dodgers brought him in to help with their day-to-day hitting operations in whichever capacity that Andrew Friedman sees fit. And given his history with the Red Sox and how he was suspended for the cheating scandal or the cheating thing that they had going on in Boston in 2018, I'd like to get a little bit of input on you guys and how you feel and what he can bring to the Dodgers and with his ties to JT Martinez and Mookie Betts and what you think that Watkins can do for the Dodgers and their hitters. I'll go to Matt first.
Yeah, so I think first it's important to kind of acknowledge and recognize that JT Watkins, he was, I believe, like a video replay coordinator with the Red Sox when he was found to have played a part in kind of, their cheating scandal. And what Rob Manfred determined was that Watkins used video from in-game feeds to then adjust scouting reports kind of basically in live time and sort of on the fly, which MLB obviously doesn't allow. He was suspended. Red Sox did bring him back in a different role. And now that he's, like you said, he's joining the Dodgers, it is going to be in a different capacity. And I think it's interesting and noteworthy beyond kind of the cheating. The cheating thing makes it awkward, I think, for me. But it does seem like this is something that Mookie Betts and JT Martinez sort of, I won't necessarily say push for, but they probably advocated for. I know, Scott, you just referenced that there was some history with Mookie and JT Watkins, and Mookie really giving a lot of praise for preparing the hitters. And so with JT Watkins, with Mookie, JD Martinez back together, and also, the Dodgers' actual hitting coach, Robert Van Scoyoc, who had a personal relationship with JD Martinez before all this, it seems like the Dodgers are kind of, trying to sort of maybe recapture a little bit of that magic.
Sure. Yeah. 2018 Boston Red Sox with how they, steamrolled their way eventually through the Dodgers. Blake, I'd like to get your thoughts, a little bit how, hopefully that Watkins, he modified a lot of his methods, taking a step back from what, and kind of conforming to the new rules of the limitations of video, in-game video, and how that has changed since then. What do you think, they're ultimately trying to accomplish here, given that the Dodgers are certainly an advanced organization with their scouting? What's something that you believe that they, can be changed here with this kind of culture that they're bringing in with these, great hitting minds with, Betts, JD Martinez, and, they already have RVS. What do you think Watkins can really bring?
Well, it seems like they're almost trying to become the 2018 Red Sox. The Dodgers and Red Sox have been kind of swapping players in the recent years. And I feel awkward too about having Watkins around with his role in the cheating scandal. But something Chaim Bloom was saying, he's the Red Sox president. He was saying Watkins was kind of put in a tough position, like they kind of pushed him into doing it, and he probably wasn't in a high-level spot where he had too much of a say. Like if he pushes back, maybe he gets fired or something. So when you're kind of pressured to do it, it's a little different than like going out on your own to do it. But Bloom was saying he's a really good person and he was a great teammate while he was with the Red Sox minor league system. So that kind of makes me a little more comfortable with it, but it's definitely a weird position. But if Mookie and JD are advocating for it and they think he can help them win, then sure, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great point. You think you bring up by, the endorsement of Mookie and JD and how if it's a great mind to bring in, there's, in this instance, there's not going to be too many chefs. I think that if he has the endorsement, Alex Cora, whatever people feel about him, he has kept guys around that are, have contributed in some way. He's definitely one of the better coaches across Major League Baseball, however you feel about him. But his role as an advanced scouting assistant, I think, is extremely valuable in preparing players with scouting reports, whatever. I just think it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic is with JD Martinez and Mookie now that they kind of have this core together with the young players the Dodgers are bringing up. It could be something special. And I think it's certainly something to note that, just like Matt said, that there's been a lot of endorsement from people in the higher up. And Blake, I keep thinking about the point you made about he was a low-level guy. He's a former minor leaguer, had to kind of stick around in Major League Baseball, and this probably was his thing. Matt, what do you think a little bit about what do you say about Mookie Betts kind of bringing these guys back, and what can Mookie Betts expand on with JD back, maybe protecting him a little bit in the lineup?
Yeah, I think there's going to be something maybe to comfort level and just familiarity that they obviously had. And like you said, they were together 2018. That was a successful season for that team. And obviously in some respect, it is tainted. But, I think another thing too is the Dodgers, we saw a shift in it last season. It was spearheaded by Freddie Freeman, but everybody sort of bought into kind of ditching a lot of the in-game video watching. And so, there were more conversations around the batting cages and in the dugout, batting cages before the game and in the dugout during games, obviously. And so I think, like you said, with JD Martinez, maybe being able to be a little bit of a sounding board and protecting Mookie in the lineup, that'll help. And now getting JT Watkins' voice in it, if he clearly does prepare very well before games and put, kind of scouting reports together and get all that work done and not necessarily be involved on the video side, I think that further strengthens kind of the approach that the Dodgers sort of shifted to when, like I mentioned, they did kind of start to get away from, after a player finished their at bat, they went into the dugout and stuck their head into an iPad to look at whatever film is permitted under Major League Baseball rules. And like I said, started discussing things more amongst themselves.
All righty. I think that's kind of it. So make sure everyone leave, I'd like to get the fans' thoughts on what they think about JT Watkins joining the Dodgers, scouting staff and helping out these young hitters and working with JD, Mookie, and kind of bringing this a little bit of 2018 magic. We'll see if it kind of bleeds into, the young guys and through this Dodgers lineup. Make sure everyone follow us on Twitter at DodgerBlue1958, Instagram, everything. We've got it. Hit that follow button. Let us know down in the comments what you kind of think about JT Watkins joining the Dodgers staff. I'm Scott Geirman, joined by Blake Williams, Matt Moreno. Thanks for joining, everybody.